smirk. Had everyone known about Eric and Steph but me? So much for watching your friends back. A red haze narrowed my vision as I put one foot in front of the other, forcing myself not to run, not to think about the gossip or the snide little comments now circulating at my expense. If Eric wanted to move on with someone else, he could have at least had the decency to talk to me instead of making me look like a loser in front of the entire school. I passed homeroom and went straight to the parking lot. When I reached my faded to pink VW Bug, I dove inside, throwing my book bag onto the passenger seat. Hot tears spilled down my cheeks as I gripped the steering wheel, the leather stitching branding itself into my skin. I'd known Eric forever. We'd grown up down the street from each other, played in the same graffiti-stained park, and wished on stars from his treehouse. He'd been there those first terrible days after my family fell apart, holding my hand and reassuring me that my dad would come back. I thought we were perfect for each other. How could I have been so blind? Pushing my head back against the headrest, I squeezed my eyes closed. My throat burned with the effort to keep sobs from escaping. That moron was so not worth it. I sucked in a shaky breath, and an odd feeling skittered across my skin, like the moment before you turn around to find the old man at the grocery store gawking at you. I blinked the tears from my lashes and wiped my cheeks as I searched the parking lot. A boy stood several feet away, watching me intently. He was gorgeous, like someone who just stepped off the pages of a magazine. Definitely not a student at Bainbridge High. I would have remembered him. I looked away, stunned. Pretending to adjust my window, I fiddled with the handle, rolling it down and then halfway back up. When I raised my eyes from the lever, he had moved closer, and I noticed his athletic legs were bare, topped by a blue and green plaid. Wait, was he wearing a kilt? Forgetting to be sly, my gaze traveled up his white, collarless shirt and back to his incredible face. His brows lowered and our eyes locked. I couldn't look away as he shoved his hand into the dark blonde waves of his hair, pushed it off his forehead, and stepped toward me. "Don't cry, lass." Somehow, his low voice reached me from outside, reverberating all the way to the base of my spine. He lifted his hand, something white clutched in his fingers. A girl lugging a ginormous backpack rushed by my door, blocking my view. I shifted in my seat and gripped the door handle, ready to fling it open and meet the stranger halfway the moment the girl passed by. But by the time she'd moved on, the boy had disappeared, vanished without a trace, as if he'd never been there at all. That was beyond weird. Had I imagined the whole encounter, or had he slipped away before I could see where he went? In light of my best friend's campaign to convince me to spend the summer in Scotland, a wishful hallucination of a hot, kilt-wearing boy was entirely possible. Kenna had been after me for weeks to go on vacation with her. Since she'd inherited a cottage from her great-aunt, all I needed to swing was airfare. But even after teaching extra dance classes for months, I hadn't been able to save enough, which had nothing to do with my self-discipline and everything to do with my mom spending the rent money on tight clothes and boxed wine. A muffled, pixie-like jingle interrupted my thoughts. I dug the phone out of my purse. "The Moors of Scotland are calling. Are you coming or not?" Instead of replying, I hit speed dial. Since Kenna's dad had ripped her away from Indiana to live in Podunk, Arkansas, we talked or texted at least 20 times a day. She answered on the first ring. "Hey, V, what's wrong?" The girl could seriously read my mind. Rather than tell her I was going crazy, I opted for my other big news. "Eric and I broke up." "That's great. I am so sorry." I could hear the smile in her voice. It was no secret she thought Eric was a jerk. Way to empathize. But for some reason, I could breathe again. How did she do that? Maybe we did share a brain, like her dad always claimed. "At least now you have no excuse for not coming to Scotland." Except being broke. Or was I? I patted the dashboard in front of me and saw dollar signs. I didn't want to sell my bug, but getting away from Bainbridge for the summer and my cheating ex sounded better than ever now. "I have an idea. No promises, though." "Hey, I've got news too. I decided what I want from my dad."